So, welcome everybody. Thank you to all the folks at the SBDC in Stony Brook for putting this together. Really excited to be here. Let me just minimize that talking screen there. All right. Really excited to be here. I'm Ron Gonzales with RJG Consulting Group, and this is part of our RJG technology series called Artificial Intelligence and Your Business. RJG Consulting Group is a information technology service company. We are based in Stony Brook, New York, and we really focus on businesses of all sizes who want to embolden their business with a partnership that goes beyond just IT services, right? We want to really focus on creating a partnership in technology for companies so that business owners can feel like they have somebody in their corner, sort of like a CIO in a box kind of deal, where you can always bounce ideas of technology off of us, and we can let you know what's going on in the industry, and how we can help achieve your goals, and how technology can play a role in those goals and your company culture. I've been in the business now over 20 years. I won't take myself too much. And recently, this year, I was awarded Long Island Business 40 Under 40. RJG Consulting Group is part of Inc. 5000's fastest growing companies in America. We're very proud of those two milestones this year. It was great for us. And graduate of the Rochester Institute of Technology. So we'll hopefully be bringing some of this knowledge to you guys in a helpful way today, and go into AI myths versus reality. A lot of folks have some views about AI that it may replace jobs, whatnot. The reality is that AI's goal is never to replace a job. The goal of majority of AI platforms is to augment your team's ability to perform their job in a faster way, or a better way. Another myth is that AI is really only for big businesses, right? Fortune 500 companies that can invest into building their own platform, et cetera. And the reality is that a lot of AI tools that are out there today are either free or low cost and really meant to be used by the masses, right? And so we'll get into that in this presentation. We'll also get into demystifying AI a little bit. We're going to give you a peek under the hood to show you how it works, so that you can understand how you can apply it to your business. So what is AI and how does it work? First and foremost, artificial intelligence is a machine learning program language. And that means that it's a programming language that allows a computer to build databases or build what's called neural networks that will allow a computer to simulate intelligence, right? A majority of these AI platforms run in a cloud or data center environment. What that means is that the data that an AI platform is processing through is usually held in a cloud like Google or Amazon or Microsoft, or if it's custom built, if it's its own platform, it's in large data center environments in order to process large amount of data. In a short amount of time. There are exceptions to this, but a majority of the tools run in that type of environment. AI platforms are programmed for a specific purpose or goal. They try to address, different platforms try to address different goals. Many people are, familiar with a few AI platforms we'll go into, and we'll see what purpose and goal that they are trying to achieve. And you'll see that a lot of them are very different. So it's good to keep in mind that every AI tool is meant for certain functions, right? Sort of the difference between like a hammer and a screwdriver. AI uses large data sets to learn about their goal, right? So if you're creating an AI to, let's say, do architectural designs for a building, they're going to learn that um, the AI is going to learn that process through examples and currently already made drawings, right? So, but in order for it to learn completely, it needs very large data sets, right? You can't just give it two or three drawings and say, okay, now go do, do a whole new building. You'll need to give it multiple amounts, large amounts of data in order for it to learn about that specific function or goal. And what AI is doing, what these programming languages are doing, is not actually building an intelligence. The programming language actually learns relationships between data. Um, and what it does is it stores that data in a neural network. A neural network is just a database of AI types of files that keep a record of the relationship between the data. If you are going to be programming an AI to help with accounting functions, it's going to take in a lot of spreadsheets, but it's going to learn the relationship of data in certain aspects, right? So it will learn it doesn't learn how to do, let's say, sales tax computations for you, but it does learn that for every $100 there is a sales tax of 8% paid, right? And so that relationship is what is stored and then presented to the user as intelligence. So that is how that's working under the hood. And last but not least, it is an ever learning, ever improving, continuous process. There's never a point in time where an artificial intelligence is done learning. It just continues to build relationships and build that data into the neural network so that it can formulate more complex problem solving, right? So that process of learning is never over. So how did we get to today's AI? Well, it started back in 1966 with a program called ELIZA. ELIZA was meant to be a AI for therapy or therapists, and what it did is it used basic word matching and canned replies so that you could feel like you're talking to a human. And so that was the first iteration of AI. After that, the next biggest evolution came with IBM Deep Blue in 1997. This AI was built to defeat world chess champions, and it did so for the first time in 97. And it proved that AI could solve complex problems, right? And it could dynamically think, right? The programming languages had gotten to that point. And then comes our fabulous Roomba. This is my favorite, example of AI. So Roomba actually came out as the first ever smart vacuum, and it used sensor-based navigation. If you guys remember the first early Roombas, if you ever had one, or if you had friends that had one, you would put it down in one part of the room, and it would go around for like a whole day, and it would eventually build a map of your room, and it would know where your furniture was, so it would go around it. And then once it learned the room, you didn't have to have it relearn anything, right? Until you move the spot of of the Roomba, and then have to relearn everything. But it's the first smart vacuum. It's the first major, appliance of bringing AI into homes. And then the next iteration of that is Siri, right? Apple introduced its first voice assistant that used natural language processing onto its mobile devices. And that is, a widespread adoption. A lot of people already had iPhones, and everybody always gets the newest iPhone the day it comes out, right? Especially 2011. And so when Siri came out and it was first introduced, that is the first iteration of a popular AI in a mobile device. Now people are walking around with artificial intelligence in their pocket. Fast forward to 2022, where ChatGPT comes out. And this is conversational AI, where artificial intelligence reaches a human-like level in interaction. This is called generative AI. And generative AI means that on the fly, it will generate a conversation or generate images or generate documents that you would want it to do. It's also used for information lookups if you really wanted to use it that way, right? And so generative AI emerges in 22 with ChatGPT, and it gets, really starts sort of this web-based AI evolution. And last but not least, what we're talking about now is emerging AI, or real-time, assistance. And so this emerging field is between the 2011 technologies and today is what we're going to be focusing on for things that are relevant to small business owners, because that's where AI really starts to solve problems that can affect our bottom line here. So let's talk a little bit about adoption and growth, right? Artificial intelligence has an adoption and investment rate, right? And in 2022, we saw that a lot of folks were really widespread adopting platforms like ChatGPT, but they were not necessarily mission critical at that point. Like they wouldn't be able to do a job or a function without it. This is particularly focused on the financial industry. And in just 3 short years, almost half of the folks who are surveyed in the financial sector say that they use AI as a mission critical part of everyday business. So when you start to think about how quickly that adoption happened, 3 years is a blink, right, for industries. They don't really even base forecast models on data that small, but this adoption has become very, very fast, very quick. And even folks who are having a wide scale adoption, if you see that in those 3 years, almost all of the folks who widespread adopted it, or wide scale adopted AI, pretty much converted into mission critical portions. So it's also good to note that AI is already part of our everyday life, as we noticed, right? Smartphones have it, email filters have it, Alexa, Netflix, every major platform uses AI in some function, as well as all major software platforms are now adopting and using AI in some capacity, either on the back end of their systems, if not fully accessible to the end user, meaning that you can use an AI platform in in that software platform, directly as the end user. So if you have an iPhone, obviously you can use Siri. If you have Android, you can use Gemini, but those are all AIs that are available to the end user, and that's what you're seeing. That's not what Apple and all of those platforms are using in the back end, right, to do other things. But one thing to note is not all platforms are created equal, right? A lot of platforms, some of them, may be promising things that are too good to be true for your workflow or for your business. So always make sure to, and we're going to go through this, what steps would you need to take in order to adopt a platform? Like, what should you look for to make sure that a platform is good and reliable and, will work for you? So that's what we're going to cover in the next few slides, right? So now we know a little bit about how AI works and, how it's been adopted. So we're going to look at some real world examples of AI. We're going to look at some AI goals, some risk and responsibilities of what we're going to be trying to implement, and then how do we get started implementing artificial intelligence into our small business so that we can, free up some time here. On the right is a graph of the way business owners use artificial intelligence, according to Forbes. And you can see that the biggest way that companies are starting to use it is customer service, right? Customer service and cybersecurity seem to be the biggest adopters of it because it is, a time-saving asset. But you can see all of these other items, right? Digital personal assistance, customer relationship management, inventory management is another huge one. I think that you'll see inventory management go a lot higher in the next few years. Content production, product recommendations, I also think is growing. The fashion industry has seen a lot of a lot of that, especially in product recommendations, right? Accounting also is going to be huge. If there's one thing that AI does really well, it's ingest spreadsheets and data. So we think that we'll see a lot of overall growth in everything that is listed, from about recruiting to customer service, customer relationship management. In the next few years, we think we're going to see a lot of that increase, and customer service stay about the same, if not decrease. So let's go through it here. So here's some real world examples of AI in professional services. This is just two industries that we're using as an example. If you run a professional service company, that's therapists' offices, things like that. You can use AI to automate scheduling, review your documents faster, generate marketing copies or marketing content, predict client needs, and also report on productivity and targets of your current business. So and also in the marketing sector, like marketing and customer engagements, if you run not only just a marketing company, but if you do marketing for your own business, right, you can use chatbots for instant customer service on your website. You can use AI to drive email marketing campaigns or social media planning, content creation for advertisements. These are all things that AI can save you a lot of time in doing. And so these are a few real world cases in just two sectors. So let's go over what the main goals of AI are now. Keep in mind that as AI evolves, these goals can change, right? But these are the two biggest ways that small businesses can implement artificial intelligence and the goals that can set. So artificial intelligence is really good at saving time in repetitive processes, like things like expense tracking or anything that you're spending a lot of time, and it's always the same thing over and over. If you have forms that you're filling out always over and over, or anything else that's repetitive, AI can save you time there. One example is recruitment, being able to read through 100 resumes and pick out folks that have qualities that you're looking for. Great AI goal to set. Another goal for AI is to reduce cost. Remember, AI isn't here to take jobs, right? It's here to cut hidden costs and avoid wastes so that people can focus on what humans do best, which is usually interact with other humans, right? But you can reduce costs by having AI automate things like data entry, right? Energy efficiency. So for example, you can have AI manage office spaces, their thermostats, the light usage, things like that, which helps you save costs, right? Inventory management and focus and forecast inventory needs. If you're somebody who keeps product and ships product, AI can reduce your costs by letting you know and forecast what products will most likely do the best in the coming months and help you avoid over purchasing inventory. So these are two, remember, these are all those types of examples are ways that AI has saved time or reduced cost. So keep those two things in mind, is that there are many different AI platforms, but a lot of the things that small businesses will use will be with the overall goal of saving time or saving money, right? Um, and we will go over some risk and responsibilities on that. So there are some risks with using AI. There are data privacy concerns, how AI can handle sensitive customer data, right? Mishandling can lead to privacy breaches or regulatory violations. So if you are someone who handles or has compliance requirements, PCI or HIPAA, you'll always want to make sure that your platform that you use abides by those standards as well, and that's not something that you should be shy to ask or look into. AI also learns from a large data set, and large data sets, by definition, carry inaccurate or biased results. So this could lead to poor decision making or harm your brand's reputation, especially if you're using it to generate marketing content, right? It may generate content that may not be in line with your company culture. So, or maybe inaccurate, right? You may ask it to generate a informational blog post and the information's wrong. So we always need to check what our AI generates, right? Over dependence on automation is also a thing. Relying too heavily on AI can weaken your human experience. Your human expertise and also the experience when it comes to your brand, right? Um, so, and also if you over automate and then there's an outage or the system breaks down, now you may be out of business for a certain amount of time. So you want to make sure that automation is applied to your business in a way that it can still function if automation were to go away, right? Um, Unexpected costs. So free AI tools may come with hidden fees, usage caps for premium upgrades. And as you start using those upgrades, it could add up pretty quickly. So make sure that you are aware of the type of costs that your platform is, requiring of you. And my advice is usually to do a set monthly cost, so that you can, keep things well projected in terms of AI usage. And last but not least, security vulnerabilities. They are still there. Artificial intelligence is still a platform that is used on a public or private cloud, so it can be exploited by hackers or manipulated if not properly secured. Make sure to have two-factor authentication into everything. And if you're uploading data to an AI tool, make sure to keep those privacy concerns in mind. If you're uploading maybe you shouldn't upload documents that have people's social security number, etc. Right? Um, Responsibilities. So we have a responsibility to protect our customers' data, right? Especially, if you have to, if you're a CPA and you have financial data, HIPAA, GDPR are also compliance concerns. Folks who are in these sectors will probably be very hyper aware of compliance. So always make sure that whatever tool you use also abides by your industry standard. Be transparent with customers. It's okay that it lists a artificial intelligence chatbot on your website. Don't try to fake people out thinking it's a human, right? You don't need to do that. You can say, hey, this is an automated email or chatbot or whatever it is. By and large, folks like to know if they're talking with a human or an AI. Even if the AI is really good and sounds like a human, sometimes people are very upset if they are communicating with a non-human and feel like they got duped, right? So be transparent with customers, let them know they're interacting with AI when they're doing so and as a representative of your business, right? Always keep humans in the loop. This is huge. Unless you're in heavy manufacturing, which some folks, like to leave robots to build robots. Always review your AI generated content. Always review your AI generated decisions, especially when it affects customer data, your finances, or hiring. So, if you are using like QuickBooks AI to automatically do your expenses, double check those because they may classify them incorrectly, and then the IRS is knocking at your door, right? So that's not fun. So always keep humans in the loop. Make sure you're double checking the work of the AI. I've realized that might, you might say, hey, that doesn't save time, but it's not. It's a spot check, right? It's not. It's not the heavy lifting, right? Like if your expense reports should read, 1,000, 1,000 expenses in a year, and you're listing 4,000, maybe there's something wrong there, right? So it's that kind of check. You don't have to do everything, right? But you want to make sure that it is doing the right thing. Understand the tool's limitations. Make sure you know what your AI platform can and can't do. Don't assume that it is always right or appropriate for every situation, especially when it comes to generating content. And train your team. Make sure that your employees know how to use the AI tools effectively and responsibly. It's not just a technical install. So every platform has some sort of training on it, so you should definitely take advantage of it. It's usually they're anywhere between 1 to 4 hours, and it makes a huge difference. So how do we get started? Well, you can take an introspective look into your business and review roles inside of that business and ask, what do I think can be automated? If you guys have employees, interview team members and see what they think can be automated. Here are some great questions to start out. Is there any tasks that are repetitive or time consuming? Do the tasks involve text, numbers, or patterns? Can it be taught? If you were to onboard a new person and hire them to do those tasks, can it be taught with examples? And is it low risk in the case of someone making a mistake? If you answer, to all of those questions, or some of those questions with, yeah, I think I have some of those things in my business, then using AI will probably free up someone's time for higher value work, right? So if you can take one person off of doing those repetitive tasks and now reassign them to maybe giving your brand a personal touch and being in contact with customers or selling more, that's a great way to leverage AI. Once you've identified what you think you can automate or use AI for, it's time to select a tool set. So you can start looking for that goal, right? Set a goal, identify your needs and set a goal. I would like to automate this repetitive task, whatever it is. Then you can look for a tool that is, focused on that goal as well. There are thousands of tools out there, right? So what you should look for are things with a user-friendly interface that doesn't require you to code, right? That it's an easy setup. Nobody here is a computer scientist, or maybe you are, but still, I'm sure you don't want to code your own AI. So make sure it comes with a low coding requirement that's easy to set up with clear instructions and training. Make sure it has task-specific features. So choosing a tool that is, built for your exact needs, like bookkeeping or marketing or scheduling, will allow you to not overpay for features that you're not going to use, right? Especially since that's how these AI companies are making money, right? They're making money by you subscribing to their platform. Make sure that it integrates with your existing systems, right? If you are using bookkeeping, marketing, or scheduling, make sure that it integrates with your email or point of sale or your calendar platforms so that you don't have to, move platforms, right, to take advantage of the AI. Data privacy and security. It's always going to be on there. Before you sign up for anything, make sure that if you have a compliance need, that the platform satisfies that compliance need. If you don't have a compliance need, make sure you are aware of their data and privacy security policies so that you don't get hung up later and say, I didn't know they were going to sell my data to their partners, right? Transparent pricing as well. Try to avoid platforms that have hidden fees or usage limits. Go to tools that have clear pricing, free trials, or tiered plans that grow with you, so that you could start at like $2 a month, and then as your business scales, the platform scales with you. All right, that was a lot in a little bit of time, but figured we could do questions. So
I do have questions. Annette, just give us a thumbs up or unmute and say, Annette asked, where does Alexa fit in the evolution of AI? I just want to make sure she did get that question answered.
yeah, sure. So Alexa is part of that Siri era, right, of AI, where Alexa is a Siri equivalent just on Amazon, right? It's the Amazon equivalent of Siri. And Microsoft also came out with one little known Cortana, right? Or little used Cortana. But everybody, um, it would be in that time, like 2011 to like 15, 16. But it's still the same. It's Alexa is considered a assistant AI, right? A voice assistant.
And Michael asks, one thing that's not shown on the list on slide 8 is software development. Is that something that it's being used for?
Yes. So yeah, we just took a few different industries, but AI is being used in every single industry at this point. Software development is one of them. They are generating repetitive code with it. They're using it for threat hunting, bug fixes, all sorts of items in software development, and that is part of the AI, right? Implementation. Now those computer scientists can be used for product enhancements or security fixes rather than searching for problems, right? Or generating, repetitive code. They're out doing something that would bring more value add to the company.
Great, thank you.
And Michael is also wondering, will we have access to your slide deck?
Yeah, I could send that out.
Okay, thank you. And that seems to be all of the questions, I guess.
What we'll do with the slide deck is we'll put it on our website, and then they'll be able to, view it from there. So terrific. Well, thank you so much, Ron. I can't believe, it really, no matter how many times I see this, it's still a little bit mind blowing.
Yeah.
That, something that's, can be so helpful. And actually with the Small Business Development Center, we do use AI. But we compare all the data we get. If we get looking for data on AI, we do have a research network that we do that have subscriptions to a million different things to talk about, industry trends, what kind of customers, the customers trend in that area of, whether it's manufacturing or widgets, or whether it's a food product or something. So we can ask AI, but we always compare it to what we have through our research network.
Right.
So I think that's a good question. I think you brought that up too at one point.
The
data.
I do have some additional questions. I was hoping a little bit that we would go into the different AI platforms. So, there's ChatGPT that I think people use like most commonly, but then there are, I'm new to this, as I think most of us are. There's Manus for research, and if you want, maybe better spoken language, there's Claude. Then you have Grok, which I don't know, specifically what that's good for. If that's more of a general, ChatGPT like thing. Can you speak to some of the platforms? Like what's most important to me in my business is marketing and lead generation. Are there platforms that you find that are best for, when I say marketing, one, the strategy, two, generating content, whether it be creating a social media calendar, generating posts, written posts, as well as reels, video, and then writing articles that can be posted on a platform like LinkedIn.
Yeah, so let's talk to the first part of that
Yeah,
question.
I have a lot of questions. I'm known for asking questions.
Yeah, so there are well over thousand, like a few thousand different AI platforms out there. And there was another question in the I guess from Katie, that someone wanted to build their own AI platform. And so that's definitely something I'm going to get back to that, Katie, because it's sort of like, these two questions sort of meld together, which is great. So, but there are, a countless amount of AI platforms that are out there that can help you do specialized, niche solutions, right? We can, which is why the presentation specifically didn't go into like one platform versus another, right? Because everybody has different needs for their business. And so there are, lead gen platforms, right? Um, and and that's marketing, right? Marketing specific. Uh, there are also lead generation companies or marketing research companies that use AI to give you results that are curated by humans, right? So it depends on how you want to use, the platform, or what kind of platform that you're looking for to really answer your question. And that really goes into that portion of, um, you know, uh, generative AI, which is what we saw from like 2022 onward, right? So if we're talking specifically about ChatGPT or what's called OpenAI, OpenAI is a platform that has many modules inside of it. You could do a travel guide, you could do content creation, you could do image searches, all through OpenAI and ChatGPT as its platform, right? So if we sign into a ChatGPT, and let's say I wanted to do marketing, you could click on the menu that says Explore GPT and look for marketing help inside that platform. Now, keep in mind, ChatGPT is a conversational AI. It is meant to address the goal of ChatGPT is to make AI more of a human interaction. It is not a marketing AI, right? That is going to curate. It hasn't learned, um, you know, uh, and hasn't specifically targeted marketing algorithms with marketing data in order to forecast trends and create leads, right? So ChatGPT may not be a good fit if you're looking to generate marketing leads based on a specific industry. So you'll have to start searching for not just a marketing AI, but let's say you're in the construction industry, you would want to search specifically for a construction marketing AI platform. And if it's not out there, then you could search for companies that are leveraging AI to give you those results, right? Or you could be like Katie and want to start it yourself, right? So that is, I hope that answers the question of like, which platforms are.
Well, what would in order to do that investigation, would ChatGPT be a good source to find out what other AIs are, have what capability?
1,000%, yeah. So generative AI, like a ChatGPT, will be able to suggest other other AI platforms that can do the certain job better, right? You can also rely on an old school Google search. But for example, you wanted marketing leads, right?
Yes.
Um, so if you were to go to Google, you're going to get a bunch of, sponsored links, right? But if you were to go to like a ChatGPT or even use like Google Gemini, which is now included, right? You will probably get much more tailored results, right? In terms of marketing, a lot of folks are going to say, oh, hey, platforms like Salesforce, right, have something called Einstein that have a CRM that provides predictive lead scoring, right? Now there's also you know, Adobe that has I think a platform called like Engage, which is you know, lead nurturing and segmentation. It uses AI to optimize, you know, campaign performance and target the right audience at the right time, right? So those are tools that you know, use AI for marketing. And you know, if there isn't, I don't know if there is a AI tool that will specifically spit out leads, um, or will search like a leads database, right? But it could be out there, and you could definitely use like a chat GPT to say, hey, you know, I want an AI powered marketing lead gen platform, right? And see what it comes out with.
Is that what sales? And I don't mean to. I don't mean to. You know, hog the spotlight. So if anybody else has other questions, like you can go to them and then come back to me because I want to be respectful of everybody else's time and concerns. But I was going to ask about like Sales Navigator. If that's some sort of AI in LinkedIn.
So LinkedIn does use AI, and what I'd like to do before we go into that is address Katie's question,
Sure.
because she was asking about, hey, I have a business idea, and you know, I want to do AI skincare consultations. How do I go about making my own? And I want to start a website, right? So that's a great question, because you may find that the AI tool that you're looking for may not exist yet, and so you want to make your own AI. There's a lot to cover in making your own AI, but I will give you the overall, right? Some things that you've already uh some things that you've already done, right? You've already decided, right, what niche or what business you wanted to start, right? AI skincare consultation. That's great. The first thing that you need to do, obviously, is define your vision and your scope of what you want to do and how you're going to offer it, what the user interface, you know, would look like. And then you have to start developing your AI components. I'm not sure if you have coding experience, but overall, you're going to want to first collect your data in preparation of making your AI. So gather data on skin types, common issues, effective treatments, things like that. And if you're including image analysis, like someone's like, you know, sending a picture, right? Acquire data sets for training a computer visual model, right? To know, you know, what you're looking for in that, you know, in that photo. For that, you're going to want to look at curated data from, you know, dermatology studies, things like that. So collect the data and then select a model, right? So like a chat GPT based model is like text-based consultation, whereas image analysis, right, usually requires something called, you know, a convolutional neural network for learning data from pre-trained like medical image databases. So select a model for the AI, and you know, start, you know, coding in that, or making your AI in that type of model. Again, the coding language is usually like a Python or something like that. And then once you're also going to want to pick a hosting platform. So assuming that you are going to go on like AWS or Google, you know, look at their pricings for, you know, hosting machine learning AIs, right? And then last but not least, once you've sort of built that AI workflow, start training your AI, and giving it data, to actually start learning and be able to do those, you know, to do those consultations. And that's the back end of stuff. After that, you do have to work on the front end, which is building the website, getting the domain. That's actually the front end is challenging, but it's, you know, just half the battle, right? Hosting a domain, getting SSL certificates, and developing a website that talks to the back end. of your AI component. That's the second part, but the customer facing part, right, of your AI tool. And once you have those two heavy lifting things going, launch it. Invite me to the launch party. I'd love to go. It'll be fun. But that's really, really cool. And it's a great idea because, again, like I said, the fashion industry and obviously beauty and skincare is a place where AI is actually growing really, really well too. There are some AI platforms out there that will help people who sketch dresses and make it into like fabric, like, and give you like a picture of like the fabric and stuff like that. So I think that's really, really cool. So I hope that helped. And going back to your question about Sales Navigator, right?
Yes.
So that is a prospecting tool, right? That helps sales professionals find and manage leads, right? And while it does incorporate machine learning and data analytics, right? It's not a sole AI platform like a chat GPT, right? That's actually a really good example of a corporation or like, a platform like LinkedIn using machine learning to ingest data and then spitting it out to the client in a way that is controlled for them, right? They don't want to give you the sauce on how they do that, but they do want you to be able to use that tool to prospect leads and things like that. So they do, it is AI on the back end, and they're presenting it to you on the front end as this tool, right? Sales Navigator. And so while it is AI based, it is not a AI platform like a chat GPT where you can sort of like, start manipulating your data inside of it the way chat GPT would.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Keisha, who is one of our staffers, has a question. She says, Ron, do you know anything about Symphony? She believes that TikTok uses this.
Actually, it's so great that somebody brought up Symphony. TikTok is one of my most favorite platforms when it comes to algorithms and AI. So Symphony AI is an AI powered solution, but there isn't any public information directly linking TikTok's AI systems to Symphony AI. Like there's no like, so Symphony AI is its own platform. They are not publicly acknowledging or saying that, yes, we work with TikTok. But Symphony AI is its own platform. There are a lot of rumors or speculations that they work together, and there's nothing official. But if you ask me, I think they do. But there's nothing concrete, so I can't say like, yes, they use it on their back end or they use it to build custom in-house machine learning algorithms or frameworks that they're using inside TikTok to create more curated views and instances. But I am I would say probably like 80% certainty they work together for sure.
Oh, thank you. Well, if no one has any other questions, I'd like to remind you that Ron, thank you so very much. Martha wanted me to make sure I thanked you profusely for presenting for us once again. If anyone is interested in free, confidential, one-to-one business counseling, you'll get our contact information immediately when you log off from this presentation, because there will be a survey. And at the end of that survey, there will be all of the SBDC contact info, so you can call and book an appointment. And we will also send you Ron's contact info, so you can contact him for further consultation. And if there are no other questions, we'll wish everyone a wonderful day, and we'll see you all at our next presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Ron, for that great presentation.
Have a great day.
You too.